Hey everybody, hope you guys are healthy and safe. I finally got the package, the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL. I've been waiting for this guy for a long time. I did not get this from Google, I bought it myself. So in this video, I'm gonna do a quick unboxing, set up the phone, do a quick overview of the features and look at the hardware. But then I'm gonna spend the majority of the video comparing the camera against the Vivo X100 Ultra, which for my money is still the best smartphone camera as of right now. I mean, maybe this guy can top it. We will see. Let's begin. To be honest, there's not going to be that much to unbox because, you know, Google, Apple, Samsung, their products now just give you a phone and like one charging cable, that's it. But the packaging is nice because you can tell the paper is made of completely recycled paper. Here is the sleeve. Okay, even though this is all recycled paper, the packaging is really well thought out and well designed. So you have the papers, instructions, SIM ejector tool right here, charging cable right here. That's it. Okay, this does feel very nice. The AM feel definitely feels just like an iPhone 15 Pro Max. So while I boot up the phone, I'm gonna charge it too, just make sure I get enough battery life. Using this guy, the Surge 130, 20,000 mAh cell in here. So this is the new ultrasonic fingerprint sensor, meaning instead of sending a light through the screen to scan your fingerprints, it is now sending sound waves. Alright guys, I've set up the phone and I've already tested it for about 4 hours so far. So this is the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL, is the largest one, 6.8-inch OLED display. The screen gets up to 2600 nits of brightness. Phone weighs 221 grams or about 0.48 pounds. That's about on par now with all modern high-end flagships. It definitely looks and feels like an iPhone in my opinion, but it feels very nice in the hand. I am not a fan of the glossy sides. I wish this was matte. By now, you guys already know that this guy runs on Google Tensor G4. It's only a small upgrade over the G3 in terms of overall processing power. So I know this chip is not going to be able to beat the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 because the Tensor G3, when it comes to GPU tasks, like if you're trying to edit a photo, I mean, in fact, let's do it right now. If you're trying to edit a video, like I shot a bunch of videos already, if you try to trim, I think it's gonna be really slow. Like, see, you have to wait for it to load and then you trim. And I'm gonna hit save copy. And this is gonna take, like you see, on any other Android flagship, it would already be finished. On an iPhone, it would be immediate. But on the Tensor chip, it takes like 6 seconds. Now, is this an absolute deal breaker? No, like it's not a huge enough deal, but it is noticeable. But of course, people don't buy a Pixel for raw power. You buy it for the Pixel software. And for the most part, I like it, but I do think the Pixel software is a little bit overrated. I will start with the negatives first, why I think it's so overrated. So the Pixel UI, for example, you have two elements on the home screen that cannot be removed or resized. You have this widget up here and this Google search bar. You cannot get rid of it if you don't want it there. Like you can't move this bar to another area. You cannot shrink the bar. It has to be right here at all times. So right off the bat, your home screen, you already lose 2 spaces. This is so jarring after having used something like the Honor Magic V3 with this completely free-flowing home screen. Like, look at how I can resize folders into any shape. I can move this Google bar anywhere I want. I can make it longer. I can make it shorter if I like. Like, I have complete control freedom over my home screen. The second annoyance is that there is no way for me to turn off the screen by like double tapping on it. The only way to turn off the screen is you must hit this power button. But Google Pixel is the only phone in the world that puts the power button above the volume rocker. Every other phone, whether it's an iPhone, a Samsung, an Oppo, or Xiaomi, the power button is below the volume rocker. And the power button is usually a little bit closer to the middle of the phone. So that means if you have muscle memory from using another phone, when you switch to the Pixel, you will always accidentally hit the volume rocker when you're just trying to lock the phone. So the power button is not an ideal location, but it would be fine if you allow me to lock the screen with a double tap, which Samsung, Xiaomi, Oppo, Vivo phones all allow me to do. My final nitpick is that when it comes to multitasking, you can only do split screen. You cannot open apps in a floating window. So that means the apps have to stay in the grid. You can't move them around the way I can on, once again, let me show you the Honor Magic V3. I can open this app, I can immediately launch it into a floating window. I can make this window larger or smaller if I like, you see. I can have it smaller and it still works. I can minimize this window if I don't want to use it, but still have it hovering right here in the ball. So let's say I jump into Instagram and I want to bring up Chrome again, I can just tap on the screen to bring up Chrome. Again, once you're used to using these other Android skin, you go back to the Pixel UI, it feels a little bit limiting, a little bit restricting, a little bit like an iPhone, like an iOS software. But then with that said, there is a lot about Pixel UI I still really like. For example, it still does have the best in class voice typing. So let me show you an example. I'm gonna send myself a text message. Testing, man. Hey, man, can you hear this? 123 in West Philadelphia, born and raised. I am typing this with the Google Pixel's voice typing, and this is all done on device. So I don't even need an internet to do this. Send. See, I can use my voice to send this message, and if you look at it, it is like 100% accuracy right here. With any other phone, if you do voice dictation, it is just not that accurate. But then none of these features are new. So what is new with Pixel UI this year? Ironically, this phone ships with Android 14, so it doesn't even have the newest version of Android yet, but there are some new features. One of the biggest ones is Pixel Studios, which allows you to use generative AI to create images using voice prompts. And it's really good, man. So check this out. I can say like, dog playing drums, and I'm gonna hit check, and I'm just gonna speak in real time to show you that I'm not fast forwarding this. So look at that, it took 3 seconds. And look at this image. This dog looks really realistic. A cat skateboarding. It actually looks like a very realistic looking image, and you can just do this in what, like 3 seconds with a prompt. Okay, another feature I'm sure you've heard a lot about is Reimagine, which allows you to use generative AI to change the background or change something in a photo. And again, it looks scarily realistic if you do it right. So right here, I'm just gonna draw around the motorcycle, and then the Reimagine button is down here. Now I use voice prompts. Reimagine is on a highway with big trucks. Okay, just like that, it is now. See, like this first shot looks kind of fake. It doesn't look that good. But this second one looks pretty good. So you can do this with other images too. Like this is a shot snapped with the Honor Magic V3. So this is not a pixel shot right here, but should still be able to do it. On a beach. See, just like that, it looks pretty good. And look at, it even has the shadows on the beach too. And remember, this is an image snapped with another phone, not a pixel, so you can use any image. So just like that, with a couple of voice prompts, I'm able to completely manipulate an image, and I think that adds to the overall Pixel camera experience. Now, I've already snapped a lot of photos with the phone, and the camera here is really good, but how does it compare against the Vivo X100 Ultra? Before I dive in, I want to take a minute to talk about today's video sponsor, Sarge. So this is the Geek 140. It is a 20,000 mAh battery that is highly portable. It weighs 0.48 pounds, so half a pound, and measures 1.2 inches thick right here. So this is lightweight and portable enough to fit into my pocket. And you have 2 ports. You have a USB-C port and a USB-A port that combined pump out 140 watt of power. The USB-C port by itself can pump out 100 watt of power. So that's more than enough for the Pixel 9 Pro XL, which only charges at 35 watt maximum. And I love this transparent design, and also this LED screen that lights up and shows you the exact wattage that is being pumped out to your devices. So the retail price of this guy is $99 US, but Sarge always has deals on the website, so I would recommend you check out the link in the description below to see what the latest price is. So thanks to Sarge again for sponsoring this portion of the video. Okay, it is the next day. I've been using the phone for 24 hours now, and I've snapped probably like 150, 200 photos already. These were all snapped yesterday. So let's look at these photos and videos side by side against the Vivo X100 Ultra. I've already examined the photos on a larger monitor earlier. For every one of these samples, by the way, the Pixel shot is always on the left side, Vivo on the right side. One of the first things I noticed is that Pixel keeps a consistent color science across every shot, whether it is inside a coffee shop or at a bar. Now, this does not mean Pixel's shot is more natural, because right here, Vivo's colors are more closer to the real life scene. Pixel has a consistent tone that's a little bit cooler, that keeps colors and highlights a little bit more in check. It's a more processed look, but it can work in its favor. So right here, I prefer Vivo's image in terms of the colors, but then once we move into this bar, which is very low light obviously, then I like Pixel Shot better because it keeps the red, it's in control. If you look at Vivo Shot, it's just a little bit too red, and that was the scene at the time. Like this shot, Vivo Shot, it's more accurate to the real life scene. Likewise with this shot here, also at the coffee shop, but I'm at a corner where the sun is shining through. So you look at Vivo Shot, it's a little bit yellow because the sun is like very harsh. Pixel kept the image a little bit cooler, and again, it looks a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. But if you zoom into details, Vivo's images generally have more details because it is a larger image sensor. When you have a large image sensor, you know, you can pull in more details. You see that face is a little bit less processed. If you look at Pixel, my face is quite soft. Vivo, you can still kind of tell it's me, although there's a little bit of processing. And then if you look at the phones on the Pixel Shot, very, very noisy and blurry. Right here on the Vivo, you can still a little bit sharp. Likewise, if you move down to my Galaxy Watch Ultra, it is like a mess right here in the Pixel Shot. Likewise, with my hat, you can see the textures of my hat a lot more. And that is usually the case every single time you zoom in. It's just a lot softer on the Pixel Shot. And also when you shoot in low light conditions, so not this shot because there's a lot of light in the background, but when you shoot in darker scenes like in this bar right here, the Pixel will turn on night mode very liberally, whereas Vivo will still kind of just snap the image. Like right here, this shot right here, which is a little bit dark, but then there's still enough light. Vivo snapped the shot immediately, whereas Pixel needed a night mode. A little bit grainier, a little bit softer on the Pixel Shot, although Vivo does apply a lot of digital sharpening right here too. So with the main camera, honestly, it's very close. It depends on what you like. Like I like this Pixel Shot more than the Vivo shot right here in this bar. But then you move to this picture of this cat at night, I like the Vivo shot better. But what cannot be argued is that Vivo's hardware is better, so you generally get more details. But the processing does a lot of times tip the scales in favor of Pixel. Now, likewise, when you move to the zoom lens, the gap is even bigger because the Vivo zoom lens is just much larger image sensor than Pixel. So with a Pixel, anytime you're shooting with a zoom lens in lighting that's not perfect, and it's gonna look processed. Like you look at this shot, the Vivo shot just looks more natural even right away. And again, the colors are more natural in the Vivo shot because this was nighttime on the street, so the lights are yellow, but a Pixel cooled down the image. And then if you zoom in to the cat's face, there's a lot of digital processing on a Pixel, and then you move to the ear. It just looks a little bit more natural on the Vivo shot. I mean, these are pretty much neck and neck. If you go into actual size, again, it's a little bit more natural looking on the Vivo compared to the Pixel. If you look at the face, it looks a little bit softer and more processed here. The larger sensor size really makes a big difference when you go into more challenging scenes. Like right here, like this one, you don't even need to zoom in and you can just see the Vivo image is just more aesthetically pleasing and better than the Pixel's image. And then if you zoom in, the details are also in favor. Oh yeah, I didn't even mention, the Vivo zoom lens is not even a 5x optical, it's 3.7. So in every zoom lens, I have dialed up Vivo to 5x just to match the Pixel. So this is optical zoom, whereas this is a little bit of digital zoom, and Vivo zoom lens is still just noticeably ahead. In main cameras, you can argue it's neck and neck, but when it comes to zoom lens, it's not even close, especially when you consider the fact that the Vivo also focuses a lot faster than the Pixel. So right here, I'm trying to take a picture of these plants right here. Look at how the Pixel just cannot find focus on the plant. I had to manually tap on the plant to get focus. Whereas on the Vivo, every time I bring the camera up, it focuses immediately. And even after I lock focus on the Pixel, the Vivo image is still flat out better, stronger bokeh, more details, colors are just more pleasing and more true to life. But the Pixel does pick up the win in selfie camera because it has a new 42 megapixel sensor with a faster f1.7 aperture compared to Vivo's f2.2. f1.7 is very fast for a selfie camera. So you see that in side-by-side samples in low light, the Vivo selfies are more prone to slight blurriness because the aperture is not fast enough, so it needs to slow down the shutter speed to grab the image. It just looks a little more blurry. Moving on to this selfie inside that really red bar again. This is the accurate color because the red light was very harsh. But Pixel knew to, you know what, it's too crazy red. Let's dial it down a little bit. And this is a shot that's a little bit more pleasing. And then you zoom in, It's also probably grabbed my face a little bit better. And then here in better lighting, then it's a much closer image. I do like the shadows on my face a little bit more in the Pixel. It just gives my face a little bit more definition when you have shadows, like more contrast and contour. The Pixel ultra-wide camera is also arguably better, although once again, you see right here, same thing. Every single time Pixel does this thing with the colors where it kind of dulls it down, cools it down a little bit, whereas Vivo just lets the color be natural. The ultra-wide camera is really good on the Pixel too. You see details are a little bit sharper here than the Vivo, I want to say. If you move to the bar once again, then I like the Pixel's ultra-wide better. It also did a better job of keeping motion blur to a minimum. It's quite blurry right here in the Vivo image. Okay, we'll take a quick look at portraits, although I don't really shoot in portrait mode anymore because I feel like nowadays a smartphone camera, if you shoot with the zoom lens, you get natural bokeh anyway. So this is a Pixel portrait. Now, frustratingly, the Google Pixel does not let you shoot portraits with the 5x periscope zoom lens. So it has a 5x zoom lens, but with portrait, you're locked to 3x zoom at most, which is a digital crop of the main sensor. Whereas Vivo lets you shoot with the zoom lens if you want to. So I had to kind of adjust the zooming to match the focal length here. I mean, I didn't take this picture, obviously my friend did. You can see the edge detection, surprisingly, Vivo's edge detection seems a little bit better, especially around my hair. See, the Pixel kind of lost my hair a little bit right here at the edge, whereas Vivo got my strands of hair. But then when it comes to my face, I think both did a good job. I think Pixel's skin tone is a little bit more natural. Let's take a look at video performance now. So this is main camera with both phones. Pixel on the left, we'll start with the Pixel. So as long as lighting is not absolutely terrible, both of these phones do a pretty good job of zooming. But then when you move to a very low light scene like right here, you see that both struggle a lot. So you're watching low light video obviously with the Pixel 9 Pro XL and the Vivo X100 Ultra. So you're watching low light video obviously with the Pixel 9 Pro XL and the Vivo X100 Ultra. Zoom into zoom lens on the Pixel, that is a 5x. On Vivo, that is a 3.7. But then I'm gonna zoom into zoom lens on the Pixel, that is a 5x. On Vivo, that is a 3.7. But then I'm gonna... Both are heavily processed, it really depends on which one you like. But I will say that if you are gonna shoot zoom videos consistently, the Vivo X100 Ultra will get you video with more stronger bokeh than the Pixel because the image sensor size is larger. And that really sums up the overall camera comparisons. The Vivo's main camera and zoom lens have much larger image sensors. So ultimately, that is just too big a hardware gap for the Pixel to overcome, even if Google often have slightly superior processing. But then there's more to a phone than just the camera performance. And the Pixel overall is a very polished package this year. The software experience, like I already said, I have some complaints with Pixel UI, but the voice dictation is so good that it actively changes my life. When I use a Pixel, I don't type as much as I usually do because if I'm in a private place and I need to send a message or even a short email, one paragraph, I would just use my voice to send it. And obviously, there's stuff like circle to search here, which I really like on Samsung phones and it is also here. But I do think it is bullshit that Google and Samsung are basically gatekeeping circle to search from other phones. Because there's no reason why a Vivo or Honor or Xiaomi cannot run circle to search for now. It's just Samsung and Google have a deal to give themselves an advantage over other Android manufacturers. So there's a lot to like with the Pixel, and I really get why some people use this as their daily driver. I think I will have my SIM card in here for the next 2 weeks until I get my iPhones, then I'm gonna switch to review the iPhone. And then after I'm done reviewing the iPhone, I will probably jump back to the Vivo because the camera is still the best in the business right now. That's about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please consider subscribing to my channel. It would help me a lot. Thanks for watching.